spawning on Star Station, which will be our first map, in the bottom left-hand corner as the red Terran player representing Team AZUBU. We have none other than SuperNova. And his opponent spawning as the blue Terran player in the top right-hand position. He plays for Team Acer and goes by, I'm sure a few of you have heard of him, the name Innovation.
Innovation, incredibly successful. Possibly, okay. Let's cut to the blanks right now. Innovation, quite likely to be classed by many as StarCraft 2's Flash. Even though Flash is a StarCraft 2 player, every time they've met in a major tournament, as far as I can recall, Innovation has won convincingly.
There is certainly still a lot of people here who are saying Innovation is quite simply the best player in the world right now. And they may well be right. I mean, this guy, what he can achieve in StarCraft 2 could end up going to be unparalleled, but he hasn't quite made it there yet. There are still, for example, MVP with his 4 GSLs yet to be surpassed, but this guy on current form looks nigh on unstoppable. SuperNova, on the other hand, though, he's been having a fantastic time of late, and his TVT, I mean, is definitely not bad. So I'm not
SuperNova,
convinced.
if I'm not mistaken, hasn't he had the one of the most successful GSL careers ever?
Yeah, I mean, he's been there so long. He's basically been there from more or less the very beginning. And it would not surprise me if he does end up being statistically one of the GSL simply most consistent players ever, to be perfectly honest. It's entirely possible.
I remember reading somewhere, it's like he's top 3. Like, he's the top 3 most consistent player to qualify for GSL Codes.
Ooh. Well, MVP
I don't know if
must be in
that's
the top
factual.
3. I don't know if Nest's in the top 3.
I think Nesty is. I think Nesty is.
MC has to be close. And don't forget, I want to say Killer had a really good run, but I'm thinking maybe like Top had a decent run as well. There's quite a few, but I can totally see SuperNova being up there. You're right, he may well be in that top 3. This guy is just so consistent, and yeah, okay, he hasn't been up there winning multiple trophies, but I'll tell you what, he's come damn close on many occasions, and most importantly, he's showing no signs of letting up.
No, and well, at the moment, the openings from these two really quite different. Innovation risking getting that really early command center down, whereas SuperNova instead opting for the fast starport with a tech lab coming down on the factory. Going to be switching those around. This means Banshee play.
That's right, we're going to be seeing some Banshees pop out from him any a second now. The starport about to get plonked down on that tech lab, as you can see. And in the meantime, of course, we have the reactor. Notice there's nothing building out of the barracks at the moment, just trying to save up his money perhaps to, well, maybe get double helling production out by the looks of things. There we go, the barracks now lifting up. Still only on the 1 gas, of course, is Innovation at this moment in time. And, well, we'll see how much... Do you think these Banshees are going to end up doing much damage to Innovation? Yeah, I mean, he's already got the bunker down the front. It depends on where he's going to end up positioning his Marines and if he gets a add-on on this barracks right now. But I'd love to see how Innovation handles this.
I think Innovation actually is going to be going for Hellion drops. I really do feel that, because if we take a look, he's only currently sitting at 2 Marines. He's not producing anything out of this barracks at the moment, and does have the starport on its way, plus those Hellions into his base. The Hellions are going in a position where they can defend against Reapers. That's the key thing that they're looking for. But SuperNova, he may actually have quite a nice time with this Banshee opening.
What I'm surprised about is that, I mean, Innovation, he really needs to, because, okay, well, he is going to be getting the Viking out now as well. So obviously in this build, not going for those additional Marines does come at a cost. Innovation recognizing this. Notice that he hasn't seen the Banshee just yet. It's only now just making its way across the map. And he's gone, well, hang on a second. Time to grab this missile turret up. Time to grab my Viking up. And see what damage I can do with this. Now, note that there is no cloak with this Banshee as well, so the Viking is simply going to dominate it. And here we go. Innovation out with the Viking. Missile turret out at the natural. Banshee goes away. 0 kills on the Banshee, and now a Viking to compound its misery. But, ooh, almost flying within range of that Widow Mine, and immediately spotting it. Innovation just defending this really well.
taking no damage at all, but likewise not really doing too much damage yet. The Widowmine doing a great job of zoning out Innovation from being able to really move out of his base too comfortably. He's got to be very cautious just because it's blocking off a vast majority of where these Hellions can go, for example. One big Widowmine here would be annoying, but a Marine being sacrificed for the cause. Oh, that poor Marine.
And there we go, Marine and a scan for that Widowmine there as well, just to get it out of the way. SuperNova, though, number of workers killed remains at 0 this game, and he's going to be moving out with some Hellions of his own. And both players really taking the watchtowers at the moment. It's 36 to 31 workers in favor of Innovation. Where does he magic this macro out of here? And we've got a Raven in the meantime coming out from SuperNova as we look ready to transition into medevac production on that starport.
Now, it's worth noting that that Raven coming out is really important because back at home, Innovation is getting down Cloak, ready for his Banshee. So he's following this up with some interesting mech play. This is going to be pure mech on mech now. And that Raven is going to completely negate any effectiveness gained through getting Cloak. So both of these two players gone for Banshee at one point or another. Neither of them, unless something terrible happens for SuperNova, are going to have any effect on the game as a whole, and that means that they both wasted similar amounts of resources in their commitment to this Banshee play. But I don't know, they're so close still. There hasn't really been anything notable lost in this game.
It's been very cagey so far, and I think SuperNova actually might be feeling a little bit nervous. We didn't catch it on camera, but there were 2 SCVs, for example, at SuperNova's natural that weren't mining for quite a while. It looks like they were just rallied into free space, and this continued for about 30-45 seconds. But to be honest, if that's the extent of the mistakes that he's making in this game, then he's doing pretty darn well. He's 3 workers behind at the moment, has got a slightly larger army, and don't forget he has that Raven to boot, so that when the Banshee comes in, it will get picked off pretty quickly indeed. Going to be researching that blue flame now. We can see SuperNova making double Viking at once, really wanting to dominate the air battle. And I have to say, his map vision right now, both watchtowers, got buildings floating in the middle of the map, just generally really, really good, even taking the watchtower on the left.
Now, Innovation is getting ready for the Banshees to start coming in. One sneaking into the top, one down the bottom, but unfortunately the one down to the south, is it going to get spotted here? These units may be a tad too high, but now pulling back, catching a glimpse of the Banshee with the barracks. But that means the one to the south is going to be absolutely fine to come in here. Is there a missile turret? No, there's not in the natural.
Alright, and now we have the original Cloak Banshee from the top, moving in behind the main base. It looks like he's trying to get both of them in the same place here, but one of them is going to be at the natural, picking off one SCV, and now starting to count additional ones. The one inside the main base, oh no, going to work as well, and it feels like SuperNova is being pulled in multiple directions. It takes a little while, actually, before he's able to register that. A scan going down as well, so that these 2 Vikings can pick it off, not wanting to wait for the Raven to get
in the middle of the
huge scrap.
And that came off massively in favor of Innovation. Absolutely huge there. And considering the fact that he doesn't have Blue Flame yet, that is incredibly shocking. But it now means, of course, that Innovation, with a huge Hellion numbers advantage, as well as picking off 10 workers, is in a really comfortable spot.
And SuperNova now giving chase with the Blue Flame on the Hellions. We can see him moving forward with his Air Force as well. And there's a lot of energy on that Raven. Got a decent number of Vikings as well to maintain that superiority, and a Banshee in with this composition. Oh, look at that. He even sees the medevac, and maybe, just maybe, SuperNova can pick that off here if he's able to really tempt them back out enough. But it looks like the Hellions are going to get cleaned up. Here comes the Air Force. Will it be enough? Will he pick apart that medevac? Just dropping those Hellbats in time.
Of course, the Banshee, though, for SuperNova now can go pretty much unchallenged. The Vikings going to land as well to get in a little bit of this action, picking off quite a few of the SCVs here. Well, Innovation, SuperNova, getting himself into a really good spot.
Yeah, this is huge, actually. Innovation at the moment just trying to pick off these units with his mech. To be fair, doing a great job against units, but this entire time, the Vikings have been absolutely wreaking havoc inside the mineral line. Number of workers killed 19 to 10 at the moment in favor of SuperNova here.
SuperNova getting those additional kills is really putting him in a good spot, but the third is up slightly sooner for Innovation, meaning he's got those additional mules to start using. The Vikings landing once more, going head up against these Hellbats. Vikings actually do very nicely against this.
That's a lot of mules.
And they're all getting taken down, JoRoSaR. That's very frustrating. The Vikings getting back up into there. There was a Thor, though, for Innovation. That should spell the end to this.
This sustained damage is just so good right now from SuperNova. He's even trying to think about taking on the Thor, but he's perfectly happy just continue messing up these SCVs and picking off those mules where necessary. The economic damage he has done to Innovation at this point in time is absolutely huge, and now this orbital is going to be forced to lift, but guess what? The Vikings can lift as well, and this might end up killing the orbital. Innovation needs to repair frantically. More damage is being done than the rate of repair, and the orbital, it goes down. Huge win there for SuperNova.
That is so significant. I cannot emphasize enough how important knocking out that orbital command was, because even if Innovation was able to kill the army, which, might I add, he has not done, he wouldn't be able to mine from this base. He's down in workers, down in bases, down in mules, everything now siding in terms of SuperNova, in terms of that economy. The only thing going in Innovation's favor is the fact that he's got +1 done, but SuperNova has got +1 vehicle weapons on his way now, and he's also trying to get himself into the sort of spot where actually he can hold off anything that Innovation throws at him.
And this is just one of those rare moments where I have to be honest and say I think Innovation was taken by surprise there. He was probably sat there going, right, there are lots of things I need to be worried about at this third base. I need to make sure there aren't any Widow Mine drops. I need to make sure there aren't any sneaky bio pushes coming in here. What if the Banshees get in? I don't think he was expecting Vikings, to be perfectly frank with you, Metals, to do quite so much damage. And this entire time, SuperNova was continuing to mine from the third. He's up to 69 SCVs to 45 of Innovation. Innovation does have the +1 attack down on his mech, but right now, that's just not enough to compensate.
It really isn't. I'd say Innovation, his only chance now is to make sure that he gets this third back up, and he cannot afford to take too many more losses. But look at this, a Hellbat drop already heading towards the main. Yes, there was a missile turret, but there wasn't very many units there, so the Hellbats can get dropped. Innovation's reactions need to be very, very quick, but with Blue Flame, these Hellbats dealing a lot of damage. More SCVs getting taken down. Total now 32 workers killed by SuperNova. He's very far ahead economically.
And while he's going to be picking apart the missile turret, that will be the legacy of these Hellbats. Another drop going down inside the natural expansion. We take a look at the workers killed. It's jumped to 35 for SuperNova this game. He is in absolutely sublime form, and he is taking no prisoners. Exactly the kind of attitude you need going up against someone as good and as esteemed as Innovation. SuperNova now with a 30 worker advantage, and he's going to be taking his fourth base. Innovation pushed up against the ropes here, but his army composition, if you look at it raw, is pretty darn powerful here, Metals. You cannot count out the potential of a big push from Innovation that does a crazy amount of damage. I still think, though, that SuperNova's massive favorite here.
Innovation now does have a +2, quite a long way ahead, and as you said, his army was looking fairly okay. However, due to this greater economy, now we are seeing SuperNova start to really ramp up that army production. Already now ahead of Innovation, it's going to just continue to spiral that way, especially now the fourth is getting secured and becoming a planetary fortress. Really great positioning at the moment. SuperNova as well, just making sure that he's getting everything that he needs, waiting for Innovation to move forward, and Innovation going around the top. This could be a problem. The scan goes down, sees the move out from Innovation. Is this going to trigger SuperNova to move in? The medevacs are all going to get taken out. The Hellbat drop taking a little damage. This is a really tough spot now because SuperNova Siege is in the perfect position.
Oh, and this is looking pretty tough for Innovation here. Really great army posturing, and Innovation has no choice but to try and take this army out as it stands. But the earlier siege up from SuperNova means he does so much. Great drop on top of the siege, though. And that drop on top of the siege line is what has saved this from Innovation. It's fantastic plays like that that are keeping him in this game right now. He's still 25-30 supply down, but look at the tank count, Metals. It is currently 8 to 15 in favor of Innovation. That could be the little wedge he needed to prise open this game.
That was absolutely exceptional. There's no other way of saying it. The tank count now so vastly superior for Innovation, but Hellbat drops are going to help try and negate some of that damage. The siege line getting ever longer. Defender's advantage still sitting there for SuperNova, and the economy still an advantage for SuperNova. We can see these two tank forces coming up against each other. Innovation slowly pushing forward, though, trying to break it as quickly as he possibly can, but SuperNova running those Hellbats forward. Innovation going to be forced back to retreat, and SuperNova once again taking the army supply advantage and overall supply advantage too.
Those poor Vikings. A fantastic decision from SuperNova. They're landing the Vikings to allow his siege tanks enough time to do the damage they needed to do, and oh my goodness, SuperNova does not want to hang around and wait here. He is loading up all of his tanks into these medevacs, and he's going to go ahead and try and once again get a fantastic position off by the third. But look, the watchtower, the watchtower was momentarily taken before, but it's not being taken at the moment, and dare I say it, Innovation has no idea that this is coming. He's continuing to be aggressive here, but SuperNova now up nearly 50 supply. He's going to go straight into the main base. Oh, and if he sieges up near the production structures here, I fear Innovation's going to have to try and go for a base race.
Now, a couple of Hellbats have dropped down, but that is nothing compared to having tanks sieged up in your main. A couple of Hellbat drops going to go down on top of these tanks, which means the tanks will annihilate themselves a little, but still so many SCVs getting taken down. We do see Innovation pushing in towards the third base now as well. This is tense. Both players absolutely going for the throat. Who is going to come out on top here?
GG! Oh wow, AZUBU.SuperNova, ladies and gentlemen, takes game number 1 against Acer's Innovation.